Flags along the bayfront. Now this weekend, some other local heroes will also be honored. We're also honored for their military service. The USS Lexington hosted 12 veterans who were selected to receive something called the Quilt of Honor. 5 more were nominated to receive a Quilt of Valor. And all the Quilt of Valor recipients were wounded in combat from Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. The recipients included Arnold Leal, Martin Longoria, Skylar Barker, Jesus Trevino, and Raul Cervantes. The South Texas Quilts of Honor group organized this salute today, and all of us here, thank you for your service.